What's up? Welcome back. John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. And today, I have finished What If. And considering that was the final season, we have all finished What If at this point, if when you get here. I don't know why they decided to end it after 3 seasons. Uh, I'm, I think this is a really interesting concept of a show. It's a great way to sort of explore it's a great way to use these characters, and it's not as high budget as their live action shows. And I thought it just was a great vessel for them to use on Disney Plus. There's this sort of bitching from the community as to these MCU shows and how they're being tied into the movies and how much of the shows do they have to watch to understand the movies, and people bitching about the Marvel movies not being good anymore because they're trying to do too much. And it's like, well, this is kind of perfect because what it's able to do is it's able to introduce sort of interesting concepts. Like, we're actually getting a Marvel zombie show, which, because of the popularity of the episode, people are like, I really want to watch that. Um, so that's actually happening. But it's also giving an opportunity to expand some of these other characters. There were plenty of characters that were used this season who haven't really done anything since their show. We had like an episode that was very centric on Red Guardian. We had an episode that brought in Kate Bishop. So we had Howard the Duck. You know, you've got uh, our new Captain America, Sam. I want to say Falcon, just so you understand who I'm talking about. Was really anchored in the Power Ranger episode. It's a Power Ranger, let's be honest. Versus the kaiju. That episode had a lot of ideas going on. Um, there was a Moon Knight reference in there. It's all these Shang-Chi. A lot of people who, because of the amount of time, we had some Eternals stuff going on there. There was an Agatha, and it's just a great use of reminding people these people exist, and a lot of them are the original voice talent. So it feels like the kind of thing you'd want to keep around because it keeps kind of reminding people that they exist, but they exist in a way that isn't tied to the MCU. This is exactly what people are asking for, is a TV show that has no bearing on the real world, on real world implications, but you can introduce ideas like Captain Carter and see how it plays and see whether or not, there's an audience for that. And if you want to do something with Captain Carter later on in a movie, you can, because people will already understand conceptually what that is from having seen What If. So, uh, yeah, I, I, it doesn't always work. That's the downside to What If, is when each episode is a swing, you're going to like more episode. You're going to like an episode more than another one. Not every episode is going to work for you. There were episodes I didn't like in season two. There are episodes I didn't like in season one. There are episodes I didn't like in season three. There are just episodes that don't work for me, where it's like I'm not really interested in this swing. But then there are other episodes where it's like, oh, I love this swing. The Doctor Strange episode in season one, I still love that. I remember that episode and I thought that was amazing. I thought the story was so rich and well told there. Obviously, the zombies episode from season one is a huge standout for me as well. In this season, um, I I thought there was some really fun stuff that was sort of explored in that Power Rangers kaiju episode. um, that was fun for sure, especially where they ended up going with Hulk. I wanted to like the Western episode more, but I thought they had a missed opportunity, and that bothers me too much about the reveal of who the Hood was. Without telling you who the Hood is, I will say it's not Ghost Rider. And when they introduced the concept of a ghost train and they already are putting these characters in a Western thing, I was like, oh, this would be a great way to drop Ghost Rider in. The same way sort of like we're getting Howard the Duck and he hooks up with, um, I forget her name, Kat Dennings. And it produces Birdie, who's voiced by Natasha Lyonne, in another episode. So, uh, And like we got all of that, and it's like this could have been a great way to bring us a taste of Ghost Rider. Just like by the way, here's this, you know? But it wasn't that. It was so disappointing. I wanted it to be Ghost Rider so bad. I was like, oh man, you're so close. Um, so yeah, there were several episodes that really worked for me. Some that sort of pack a little bit of emotional punch, some that are just kind of cool, um, stylish. The Agatha episode is just kind of stylish. They sort of work a plot in starting at episode 6 that sort of starts in episode 6 and really kind of finishes at the end of episode 6 and finishes in 7 and 8. Really finishes. Episode 8 is almost devoted to it. We got more Riri. Ironheart is coming this year. So, in general, I think What If is a strong show. I worry that without it, who is going to be asking what if? Who's going to be making these swings? And how are we going to be keeping certain characters alive until they're being used again? Because a lot of these characters, they may be a few years off from appearing in something again. So it would have been a great way, like next season, we could have had something with Billy, because I don't think Wiccan's going to make an appearance in the MCU that quickly. So I'm really disappointed that Disney and Marvel decided to end this. And not for reasons where I'm like, oh my God, but just because of the concept of what it allows them to do. And the great debate around, should the TV shows match the movies, linked to the movies? And with this show, well, it's definitely not. This is the one time where you can actually do whatever you want. And this is the one thing they canceled. This is the one thing that fans are actually asking for. And this is the one that gets canceled. So it's an odd choice. But yeah, so the one thing that bothers me about What If, and this is when they don't find a voice actor that sounds like the person who obviously is not doing the voice. And that happened a couple times this season. They have Zeus, that was obviously not Russell Crowe, and it was somebody who was not even remotely trying to recreate what Russell Crowe did for Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. Then you have not James Spader as Ultron, and you have somebody who's not even trying to recreate James Spader as Ultron. I don't mind Seth Green as Howard the Duck, because Howard didn't speak that much in the in the movies, so there's not really like that doesn't bother me. And then they're assigning new voice actors. Obviously, Birdie doesn't have, so Natasha Lyonne jumping into Birdie is not, and they got Storm, and it's not Halle Berry and it's not Alexander Shipp, it's Storm from the animated series. So, so in certain places they did make sure to get it, and they do have the original voice talent. But then when they don't, it's sort of really obvious, and it's very unfortunate. And in other times, they've used people. They've had a guy really trying to sound like Robert Downey Jr. I remember him. He not in this season at all, but I think he was in season 1 maybe in the Marvel Zombies episode. I'm pretty certain that was not Robert Downey Jr. And if I remember correctly, he's one of the people who did not opt in. Just like Scarlett Johansson did not. She was replaced by Lake Bell, who sounds surprisingly a lot like Scarlett Johansson, and works very well as Natasha. So a couple of their subs have been really good. They went out of their way also in live action form, even though with War Machine they made a very, strong decision when they had to recast that from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle, to just let Don Cheadle be Don. Like they're like, these are two completely different actors. We're not even going to try to pretend they're not. But Ross Marquand did a really nice job stepping in for Red Skull when Hugo Weaving didn't want to come back, and he didn't like create a wildly different Red Skull. He tried to keep that momentum going. He's also a voice actor, so he can. There are videos of him doing a ton of impersonations, so he can mimic other people's voices. it's sort of baffling when they choose not to go down that route, when they choose not to have somebody, but then in other times they are clearly trying to find somebody who sounds like the original talent. And then they have the original talent, which is the gimmick. It's an odd choice. So that's the one thing that's always sort of put me at distance with What If is when they do and don't use talent and when it is and isn't obvious, you know. But I I'm gonna miss What If. It has excellent audio description too because this show is very sci-fi based. So a lot of this stuff has no basis in reality, and it really needs you really need audio description to be able to understand what's happening in the visuals, especially like Riri's episode with like the illusions and stuff. That was Ironheart's episode. Um, yeah. So, um, rest in peace. What if? But like I said, not every episode works for me, but the concept does. It's an episode. It's Black Mirror. Like not, I don't think everybody loves every single Black Mirror episode or every single Twilight Zone episode or every single. Do you know what I'm saying? Like these things. Every once in a while, you're gonna have something that you're just like, well, that wasn't scary or that didn't work. You know, no matter how much you like the series, there are going to be episodes that just don't work for you. So there's no reason for Disney to cancel this. That's my hot take. Anyway, but as far as season three, I'm gonna give it a B plus. I liked most of it. Would have made a couple different choices, and definitely in voice acting, I think they stumbled a bit. But I will miss it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.